Hey, it's Jack from the Online Real Estate Academy and Jack Gately Real Estate. I saw a video last week on WBZ TV, which was kind of about a scam. I don't want to use the word scam, scam. That's what it was. And at least that's my opinion. But before we get into the video, I'm going to bring up the iTeam report in just a second. Quick reminder of some of the essentials that should be in a listing agreement. First, a listing agreement between the seller and the list agency should have a start date, an end date, the list price for the property, and the gross commission that is to be paid. If you're co-broking the deal, if you're allowed to do that, then the co-broking commission should also be listed. For instance, 5% gross and maybe 2.5% or 2% or whatever it is to the co-broking agency. Those are some of the basic essentials of a listing agreement. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. All right, let's take a look at this WBZ report. We'll bring it up here and see what happened in this case where these folks here wanted to sell their house.
iTeam investigation into a real estate broker's contract that a Rutland couple believes was much more than a standard agreement to sell their home.
Yeah, the couple says the agreement cost them thousands of dollars. Our chief investigator, Cheryl Fiandaca, dug into the sale to find out exactly what happened.
So many happy memories.
When Crystal Doe looks around her Rutland home, she sees the beautiful family gatherings and her two sons growing up.
It was a wonderful, wonderful home for a long time.
But it was time to move on, and in April of 2021, Crystal and her husband decided to sell it and went online to look for a real estate agent.
As most people do, go online and look for a real estate agent, of course.
I was trying to get a good deal.
And she thought she found one.
Yeah, the deal that she found was a little bit too good to be true, and that probably should have been warning sign number one.
She says MV Realty of Massachusetts offered the couple.
The agency name again is MV Realty of Massachusetts. They are out of Florida, and just to be clear, to the best of my knowledge, they have nothing to do with Martha's Vineyard, although they are a member of the multiple listing PIN service.
Cash to list and sell their home.
They just said they do that instead of advertising.
Okay, so again, here it is. They're going to give this woman here a check in order to get the listing, and she's going to tell us how much it was. I think she got a check for about $1,300.
So to me and my husband, that made total sense. Definitely lay people. We're not realtors. We're not lawyers. We don't know. So we just thought that was what it was for.
Without a lawyer or a company representative, the couple says they signed what they believed was a listing agreement.
A home owner benefit agreement, not a listing agreement, but something I've never heard of this thing before, a homeowner benefit agreement.
And admits they didn't read it.
Uh-oh.
Within days, the family decided to rent.
Remember, all of these contracts are binding agreements. Almost all of them say at the top or the bottom, or sometimes both, that this is a binding contract. Please seek legal advice.
The property instead of selling it.
She never did any kind of a showing, never did any kind of an open house.
All right, this story gets worse in just a second. So, again, she signed this homeowner benefit agreement, and then she decided to rent the house instead. Now, watch what happens next.
Did no work. I thought that was the end of the contract.
But it wasn't. A year after the Does put the house on the market with a different realtor, Crystal said.
Okay, so they rented it, and then a year later they put it on with, we don't even need to mention the name, but, a legitimate agency.
Attorney began researching property records.
And I found this mortgage, and I said to myself, what is this? Who is MV Realty?
It turns out Crystal and her husband signed something called a homeowner benefit agreement with MV Realty. Here's what it says. MV Realty agrees to pay the Does $1,315 to list their home. In exchange, the company gets a commission of 6% or more than $13,000 when the house is sold, even if MV Realty doesn't sell it.
What? Whoa! I can think of a couple of laws that might have a problem with this. Yeah, I can. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, but I can think of a couple.
And to be sure the money is paid, MV Realty put a mortgage or a lien on the Does property.
Damn! So, can you imagine? Now, I'm not going to say that this is illegal, but I am going to say it's unethical. Absolutely.
And this agreement is good for 40 years.
Whoa, 40 years? Eat my hat. Oh my God, 40 years. I mean, here in my agency, we like to get like 6-month listing agreements. You might do 3. Commercial real estate might be much longer. I've done a couple of those, much longer. But 40 years, and then you put a lien on the property to secure your commission? SCAM.
I've never heard of a listing agreement where somebody gets paid to list their property with somebody or is bound to continue being with that company for 40 years.
I'm going to start to cry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so then the homeowner, she's going to cry, and I don't blame her either. I mean, this is just, this is totally unethical, and good job on WBZ for covering the story, and I hope that someone does something, whether it's this lawyer that was mentioned there, maybe she goes after them for some type of damage. I don't know. The story gets a little fuzzy at the end of. They ended up selling the property, to the best of my knowledge, but then WBZ doesn't really cover exactly how they got rid of the lien, whether they paid it off or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. It strikes me, and here's just the website from this agency down in Florida. Basically, we're serving your community, and they got some Google reviews. I mean, it looks like a nice website and everything. And basically, how the home benefit program, they're going to give you a check from $1,000 to $5,000, and they don't really tell you that they're locking you into some type of lien, which is effectively a mortgage, and that it's for 40 years. They don't tell you any of that on this website. I looked it over very, very closely, which leads me to believe that at the very least, this sounds like, and again, not a lawyer, that we might have an issue with the Massachusetts Consumer Protection Law, Chapter 93A, which, of course, if you took real estate school, especially with our school, onlinerealestateacademy.com, you would have learned that, of course, this protects consumers against unfair and deceptive business practices. There's nothing in this law that says this particular practice. It's more on a case-by-case basis. But I would definitely see the bullet here point that is near the bottom. Businesses that use bait-and-switch advertising. This kind of sounds like it falls into that category. Businesses that fails to tell you relative information regarding your product. Business that does not meet warranty agreement. I don't think that applies. Business charges a consumer higher rates than marketed. There kind of seems like one of those. It kind of seems like a 93A violation at the least. Now, again, not really sure how they resolve this here in this particular case, but that does seem like an unethical business practice at the very least, and may be illegal. I hope that lawyer follows up. All right, so get your listing agreement signed. It's hard to get listings now. Not many properties on the market, but do it the right way with the proper listing agreement, and have a great day. I'm Jack Gately from the Online Real Estate Academy and jackgately.com, or Jack Gately Real Estate. jackgately.com. You could go there too. Hey, I didn't ask, but don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.